All right, just give me 1 second here, and we will get going with the stream from earlier today. We didn't have anybody available to live stream the game, so we're going to do a replay link. All right, go full screen on this. All right, so this is game number 2 between Charlie Arlinson and Bastian Winkelhaus. Charlie won the first game by 5, and here we are playing game number 2. We have Bastian's replay link was randomly chosen between the two. I flipped a coin. So we'll be showing Bastian's replay of this match. Charlie starting Insurrection Aim High. I'm sorry. Bastian starting Insurrection Aim High like my father Wackling. Pretty typical throne room stuff. Uh, Charlie starting Imperial Arrest Order, establish control to pull Fondor and get the extra activation at the docking base. And he went with Endor Shield as his third effect. Thank you for tuning into this replay stream tonight. And we hopefully have a couple more for you. There was a game earlier today as well between Joe Olson and Justin Branch. As soon as they send me their replay links, we can stream that game as well for anybody who missed out on it. And just for posterity's sake, for future playback watchability. And then later this evening at about 10:30, about 3 hours from now, 3.5 hours from now, we will have game number 2 between Greg Shaw and Gavin Ortland. Greg won their first game by 17 last week. So let's get going. Replay link from Bastian's point of view. It's a pretty strong opening hand. He just played Wisa. He's going to go get the Boss Nash Chamber, and he's got the Speak Pole already in there. You can see he's got Luke, Obi, and Hark Seth. So he really kind of teched pretty well with some card choices for Ral Ops. Hark Seth could also be very useful against map. You can just stack up the one site and then cancel their drains at the adjacent site. So it's a pretty interesting card choice. He's going to get all his activation out right away, and that's when Throne Room hits its activation, it's very difficult to do much against it. Sebastian's going to get off to a fast start here with the Boss Nash Chambers, the Jedi Council Chamber. He hits a docking bay, and then he's just going to draw a couple cards here. He draws into his Fly Casual, which he already knows his Tantive was in his reserve deck. So he can throw away the Fly Casual and get that out as well. And now he can threaten the ability to prevent the flip with with Poe and Ray and Finn here available. Charlie's going to use his objective, and he's going to get the street. He's going to get the docking bay, the 1-0 docking bay. He's going to get Fondor. Oh, Fondor was in his hand. Okay. He took a couple admirals. Who did he take? He took Mahdi. Is that all he pulled so far? Was just Mahdi? Yeah, it looks like he just pulled Mahdi. Bastian's going to get his other docking bay out. So quick setup. He's already up to 12 activation, and his opponent really hasn't started giving him all the 1-1 additional sites. And now he's going to get his Tantive out. And he's got enough force to put one guy on. He can drop Poe. He can draw a card or two, and then he can react for free with Finn. So that's a pretty good spot for Bastian here again. Now it's a battleground system. He's got the ability to, drain, get around battle plan, and kind of limit his opponent's ability to flip his objective, which is one of the best ways to beat Ral Ops. If you can keep them from flipping, that always puts them on their back legs a little bit, on their hind legs. Charlie has a trick up his sleeve here with a set for stun combo. And he does draw Tarkin, who's 3. Poe's only ability 2. So Poe's going to go back to hand. Bastian has no force saved, so he can't even bluff a Rebel Barrier or anything. Would have been interesting to see if he had 12 cards in hand, if he was running like Evade or Monarch or something, um, or just regular Monarch, because I'm sure he's got Masterful Move. If you could have set for stun to put Bastion to 13 cards, and then Monarch to put some of these cards used. But look at these cards he's just drawn. It's just character, character, character. It's everything he needs to take over the ground here. Yeah. So Charlie's going to drop Mahdi and Vader's Shuttle and clear the Tantive. Now, he pulled the Coward Shield, which is, if Bastion wanted his Tantive back, he could just ditch Wackling and get it, because this isn't a battleground right now. And the Coward Shield here does say, while you occupy a battleground, an opponent occupies less than 2, it cancels his force retrieval. And he doesn't have secret plans out either. So if Bastion had wanted his Tantive back, he easily could have just popped Wackling to go get it. But I think at this point he's content. He slowed him down a little bit. He forced him to commit some stuff to space right off the bat, and now he can just go take over some ground sites and try and keep him on the 0 side that way. He's going to go with Luke. He's going to get a lightsaber. And we'll see what else we get here. He's going to get a ray and then get a used pile search out of it. Lots of options there. He's got the perimeter scan. Anakin was in there. Also would have been a good option. He raised to draw the bottom card and draws into Leia, Rebel Princess, and picks up an It's a Trap. It's a solid hand here for Bastion. This is going to be tough for Charlie to dig through. Leia, Rebel Princess, a very strong choice, not only just against Ral Ops, but also against Court, which is another of the more popular dark side decks right now. She kind of gives that deck all kinds of fits, especially, I mean, it's already, Throne Room already gives Court issues, and then you slap Leia, Rebel Princess on it, and that can become a very one-sided game pretty quickly. But in this particular matchup, you can stack Leia with Luke, and then she can cancel some drains at some Ral tier locations, slowing your opponent down further by giving you the ability to continue to get drains in. This particular site is if you're Thief or Scout present, force drain +1 here. Luke Jedi Knight is a Scout, so that's a drain +1 from the Saber. He's looking at a drain 3 already, right off the bat. There's the docking bay. So Charlie's got all 4 sites out now. So he will probably just throw somebody down in front of Luke here. And then cover these 3 sites with guys, and then flip. But he does go get the Gick, I guess, just in case he does get barriered and get stuck. He's not completely screwed. And he'll drop Min. Min will get him a shield, so he gets battle order, make him pay for some of these drains. It's a good pull there. Now he needs to get one more guy here at the docking bay or land the ship. All right, so he's going to put Piet over here, and then Piet will docking bay transit over. That flips the objective. He's got 25 cards now to pick from to go get anything he wants. And then we'll see him probably shuffle some of these guys around. Arden moves over. Min moves over to the street. And then Ozzel moves from the street to Piet. So now he's got 2 sites plus the system. So he's adding 3 to his drain total. But now he's left a second site empty here. So I would assume Bastion's just going to deploy to this particular site after he pays the drain. He pulls the Don't Do That Again shield, which of course prevents him from getting hit by like always thinking with your stomach, which could be troublesome. Alright. So Charlie gets drained for 3. He loses Arika V, Vader's Enforcer, and an Imperial Domination. Not a great start. Having 1 Domination in the lost pile isn't bad, because you do have a couple other effects. If there is a battle, he can swap for it, so that's not so bad. To get it back into hand, like I've said in previous reviews of RAL Ops. Sometimes when you lose a key card, it's not really all that bad. It's actually a good thing because then you can just exchange for it. So we'll see if there are any battles anytime soon. If Charlie has anything that he can use, but his hand's down to 5, and he's about to get flipped back here and have to put a card down too. So all right, Sebastian's going to put Leia down. That flips him back because now he controls 2 route tier locations. Leia can also be able now to cancel both of these drains. He'll add Padme. She's going to add a Destiny to Attrition. Charlie's going to use Pia and go get Mithranadu. And then Leia's going to draw a couple cards and pick up Leia's gun. Ouch. Leia's gun's another card that's very, very strong. Particularly in these types of matchups, so they want to pile 2 or 3 guys at you, and if you can take one of them out of the battle immediately, there is not an answer for that. A lot of these guys are all ability 2s and 3s. Most of them are 3s. They're fairly easy to hit. It does not drain. Doesn't want to give, I guess, give him the Tantive back. And then Charlie's going to move out to the battleground system. So now he's got 3 battlegrounds covered. He could pull resistance here to limit this drain to 2, which Bastion would have to pay for. He'd have to pay for these drains of 2 and 1. And he's going to reload his hand here back up to 12 cards, and there he goes with the resistance shield. Okay. So he's a little behind right now, but he can still find a spot depending on what happens in this next sequence of turns here. You'll notice that we've covered this before in the past too. You'll notice that Leia lit up when he drained with Luke. Leia can cancel your own force drains, so if there's really a card that you want, you can cancel your own force drain to retrieve a force with Leia. So that is always an option that a lot of people don't quite remember that she does. If you really need a card back badly enough, and have a way to get to it, like if 3PO is on the table and you just cancel your own drain and then 3PO out your Tantive and drop your Tantive right back there, that would be a pretty successful turn. Draining for 3 is draining for 2 is also a good way to go as well. But depending on the matchup, there may come a time where you just need a card, a specific card that badly. That Leia canceling your own drain just might come in handy. He loses Tarkin and a second domination. That's not good for Charlie. That's going to be hard now for him to get any type of retrieval engine going, which is what RAL Ops usually needs to survive. It needs to get its characters back for winning battles, and sometimes it needs the ability to just redraw when it draws characters. And now he's got the sorry about the mess too. Yeah, I think we all can start to see the writing on the wall for how this game is just leaning further and further in Bastion's favor. It's like that snowball. It just picks up speed as it rolls downhill and gets bigger and bigger. Now he's got Hark Seth, so now Leia can cancel this drain over here, and he can use Hark Seth to mitigate this drain here, so that will give him more turns of taking no damage. So Bastion's in the driver's seat. He can just sit back, just drain at these 2 locations. He'll take drain damage over here for 1, but he's doing 3 a turn back and probably has fewer cards on the table. So that's certainly going to work to his advantage. Leia is going to cancel that drain, put the 4 on top of the reserve deck, and he'll drain there and make him pay to lose a force, pay a force. He had 8 active, so it's not really a burden. Code clearance going to boost some more forfeit for all these guys. It's a 4 and a 3 left in the reserve deck. Tarkin's Bounty. So this has some options here. Now, deploying an Imperial leader, Leia may not cancel 4 strains where you have an Imperial. All right, so she stops. She gets stopped right there. He's still going to be able to use Hark Seth, though, to get the -1 at least. But he will get himself any card out of these 19 to choose from. But you have to wonder what he could have that is going to be good enough to get through. I'm not sure about this play here. So he drops the Emperor's Shuttle because this is the non-virtual decree, which we've seen in earlier matches. Control any 2 rebel base locations or any one planet site. The effects of revolution and all opponents' 4-strain bonuses are canceled. So I think what he was thinking is that decree would cancel the lightsaber and the drain +1 on the site. So then this would only be a drain of 1, because otherwise resistance is already capping it at 2. Unfortunately, decree does not quite work like that. This isn't a light side 4-strain bonus. This is a dark side 4-strain bonus because it is on a dark side card. So light side, it's the light side text that applies here, but it's on a dark side card, so this doesn't actually make that drain +1 go away. So the lightsaber doesn't work anymore, but this is still a drain of 2. Just another one of those interesting little game interactions. All right, so he's got the shuttle. He's got Dasan aboard. Throws the Grand Inquisitor out to Vader's shuttle as a passenger, I guess just in case he's concerned about his opponent coming down to battle him, if he has any other ships, like a Profundity or something. Obviously, he knows he has at least Poe in hand because he's set for stunned him back. And Charlie's got a masterful move again. But we know it's just the 4 and the 3 in there, so. But if he happens to top deck anything here, then he would know what his destiny would look like then. Where he's got 3, 4, 5 sitting on top, so. Lightsaber's not going to do anything there, but that is still a drain of 2. He's going to lose the Vengeance and Vane off the top, so now it's got 4, 5 sitting on top of his deck. Okay. Bastion will use Like My Father to put a card back, and I'll see if he pays the drain again. Yep. And at this point, he just wants to just keep putting pressure on. He's got a pretty significant card lead, so at this point, you want to just keep doing as much damage as you can and putting the pressure on. And he'll be content to basically just sit back and drain for 2 and 1 all game. Doesn't need to force any other interaction. He's ahead currently in life force totals. He's got, what, 21, 28 to 13. He's got a 15 card advantage right now. Yeah, because they have about the same size hand. Yeah, he's got a 15 card advantage, and he's doing 3 damage a turn, while his opponent is doing 2. So, no need for Bastion to do anything else here, except just run out the clock. He's got the It's a Trap, he's got the Barrier, he's got the Sorry About the Mess, he's got the Run, Luke, Run. Yeah. Not going to be the most exciting game to watch, but a lot of times the the games between some of the best players in the world are not the most exciting games to watch, because when you take chances with battles and things like that, that's where you have the possibility to lose. If you can make smart plays outside the battle phase, you see a lot of players, high-end players, talk a lot about the move phase being the most exciting and important phase of the game. Making the right moves, shuffling the right people around to the right places. Those are the games that they enjoy playing. Some of them. We've heard Kevin Shannon talk about that in the past. We've heard Tom Kelly talk about that a lot in the past. Guys who really enjoy the control type decks. Those games are won and lost in the move phase, not the battle phase. All right. So Charlie shuffles everybody over here to this big pile in front of everybody, and then moves away from Harksef so he can actually get this drain going again. And Luke's going to try and pick somebody off, but that, sorry about the mess, is going to get canceled by the imbalance combo. All right. He'll put a card back. He is not paying to drain this turn. Looks like he's going to need all his force, I guess. 4 for Solo, 5 for Chewie. Let's see if he puts down... Oh, Dark Time. Interesting. You'd have thought he would have saved the Dark Time for when Chewie shoots, to maybe subtract 1. Just on the off chance that maybe he draws a character or something and you can miss. He's using it to prevent all Battle Destiny draws from being modified. I guess there's the possibility Solo could play heading for the Medical Frigate from the Lost Pile to add 1 to make sure maybe he gets 2 guys. So he's just going to play the Dark Time preemptively there. Also does cause a force loss because it is against Throne Room. So Bastion will lose a Luke Jedi Knight from the used pile. He'll throw down Poe to back him up. And now he's got him outpowered. He's getting 2 Destiny because Solo adds 1 when he's with Chewie. Chewie's going to shoot, make one of these guys forfeit 0. Code clearance is out, so he'll probably go after like Piet or somebody. All right. He goes after Ozzel, who's forfeit 6. Maybe he didn't like his maybe he speculated what his destiny would be and didn't really like his options. Okay, well that's good enough to hit. Yeah, Charlie does have the land of Dobreed, so that'll stop Ozzel's forfeit from getting reduced. Curious that he would shoot at Ozzel, though. Ozzel's forfeit 6. These guys are forfeit 9. That's a good start for Charlie here. If he can draw, even if he draws a 5 here. Okay, so he did have 2 1s in there, so maybe that... yeah. Maybe he forgot code clearance was out because he didn't start it and just figured, oh, they're all forfeit 6. I'll shoot the guy with the lower ability, which makes a lot of sense. All right. Charlie draws a Gick. He is going to exchange. He's going to throw Decree Virtual away to get domination back. Okay, so that's what he's going to need now if he can try and find a way to win some battles. But Ozzel's going to die and cover everything, the 6 damage for dark side. And Poe is going to go for light side. And then we're going to see Padme move over here. And she's going to cancel Vader's text, so no choking. And he'll save the force. Should he need it, 1 for barrier, 3 for it's a trap. And he's got cards he doesn't need. So we're at 25 to 15, so it's still a 10 card advantage for Bastion here. All right, we've got Kirkana. He activated it all, so there's no battle this turn. Darkseid doesn't have someone like Chirrut that gives him that once per game recycle, so... And Pia and Thrawn will run away from Chewie. And I guess Charlie will draw a few cards, try and get his hand size back up. But yeah, battling into these guys here, you've got a slight power advantage, but they've got 2 weapons. So Tarkin's going to add a Destiny. Padme's going to add a Destiny to attrition. Kirkanos is there who could stop him playing Sorry About the Mess or something from the Lost Pile with Solo. So if he hit somebody, it was going to take him out of the battle. But it's still a pretty. You're going to lose multiple things in this battle, and then have to deal with what they have left, plus whatever else he's going to deploy from his hand for the counterattack. So I certainly understand why Charlie didn't battle there, but in the meantime, he's going to get drained for 1 and 1. As Bastion just continues to try and sit on his lead. And now he'll add Lando and draw a couple cards. Lando gives him an additional battle destiny, 6 additional power, and then Lando's also texts that when your opponent battles you, you get to retrieve a force and add its destiny number to Lando's power. So he can retrieve the top card of his lost pile. Probably throw away the under attack or something here. He's going to throw away the barrier. Maybe he'll just put the under attack back with Like My Father then. I guess there's always the possibilities too that Charlie may have some ATSTs. We haven't seen any yet, but I would guess he probably doesn't have any of those in his deck. But Simalu stacks things up, adds a little bit more power there. It's be a great time for like a Dark Jedi presence. That would be what you would if you were dark side. That would be what you would need to get over this hump here in the power difference. Because if you could basically add 22 power in this particular battle, because right now you've got 28 power, the shuttle's forfeit 0, everybody else are Imperials. So Vader's 6. You subtract Vader 6, that gives you 22. If you doubled everybody up to 44, and then added Vader 6, you'd be at 50. So you'd have a 16 power advantage, and you might actually make Dark Light Side have to lose 2 or 3 characters, depending on what your Destiny draws are here. Occasionally, that's a card you'll see in certain builds of Ral Ops, more of the beatdown style builds with the Stormtrooper garrisons and that kind of stuff. But he's got 1 force left. That would be interesting. Tarkin will add a Destiny. Padme will add a Destiny. And we've got nothing back from Charlie, so Luke is going to swing away here. And then Obi will swing. Yeah, and he retrieved the barrier and added it to his power total. And now swing at Kirkanos. Get Kirkanos, hit, and yeah, and then next turn will be the big counterattack. If any of these guys are still there. If they haven't run away by then. Okay. See, he plays the Dark Time there, which causes 1 more force loss, so he loses Qui-Gon. But now make sure he misses, so he misses Kirkanos there. So that actually works out pretty well for Charlie here. But now we'll get some Battle Destinies. He's drawn 2. And he's trying to get above 8. If he can draw a 5 here, that would make Lightside have to lose at least 2 characters here. Anything less than that, he could just lose Obi. He swaps Imperial Commander to get Tarkin back. Okay. And now Bastion will draw 2. And then add a Destiny to Attrition as well. He draws 2 5s here. Well, to a 5 and a 6. Because of Luke, Ray adds 1 to the total, making it 12. That's going to get at least 2 guys with code clearance. Ouch. And then a 6 on top of it pushes it to 18 attrition, which is going to make it 3 characters on top of Tarkin that Charlie's going to have to lose here. Meanwhile, Bastion can just throw away Ray or Lando. I guess Padme as well, but she'd be the one more likely to keep. Lando's also pretty good for adding a Destiny. Plus, he's got another Ray in hand. He's just going to deploy and get another use pile pull out of. So that seems to make a lot of sense. And it looks like everybody's just going to run away. So he'll bounce everybody away. He lost the shuttle and 2 characters. And now he'll get the drain for 2 over there. Kick from hand, kick off the top. Pay to drain for 1. Looks like everybody's going to slide over from the prefect's office to the docking bay. Charlie picked the prefect's office for some reason. I guess he was thinking maybe some of these guys here might slide over, in which case Bastion would have to lose a force. But in this instance, I think he's just going to consolidate everybody at the docking bay and avoid the force loss. He can draw 1 or 2 cards. Now this is going to force Charlie to do one of 2 things. These guys here are either going to have to go to the street, and then these guys here could then bounce somewhere else to like the prefect's office or something. Or these guys are going to have to move to the prefect's office. And if they do that and move over here, he's got Ray in hand, he's got Rose now. And then he could run Luke run and move Luke to them and then clear both these guys out. Or possibly just go for the run Luke run clash, hit the other guy. Now we've seen the 2 Gicks. Well, they're in the lost pile, so he could still just exchange for one of them if he happens to have another interrupt in hand to get one of them back. So, but Charlie's down to 8 cards now. He slaps Expand the Empire on the Prefect's office. So what does this do? Let's make sure we cover this for you guys. I know we've seen this in other matchups. So the text on the Prefect's office says, if you're Imperial leader here, Imperials at same and related sites are power and forfeit +1 here. I'm sorry, power and forfeit +1. That's just anywhere. So it's same and related sites. So you put a leader here, it makes all your guys power and forfeit +1. You expand the Empire to expand the text to the adjacent 2 sites. So now, if you have a leader at each one, you add 3 to the power and 3 to the forfeit of each of your guys. Certainly can get out of hand pretty quickly. And then the aforementioned Dark Jedi Presence is always a good way to really pile on some extra damage. But it's kind of just overkill to win more card. You know, having Tarkin be power 6 or 7 and forfeit for like 12 with code clearance out, you know, and some of these other guys here being just as big, you can really get quite a big power boost. Like these guys just jumped all the way up to 30 already. And they're going to get even bigger. Yep. And now he'll start shuffling some people over. He'll pay and he'll move Thrawn and Piet over. But this is what we were just talking about a minute ago. This seems like it's going to be a run, Luke, run situation here. Oh, he's going to play the Clash now. All right, so he's going to play the Clash on Kirkanos, because Kirkanos can only cancel during a battle. Min is going to respond wherever Min is. Min's there. Min's going to use his text. Once per game, a use of force to place opponent's just played interrupt out of play. So he's going to put the Clash out of play, so that way Solo can't then play it from the lost pile next turn, because Clash is unique. So he's playing it on his opponent's turn, so presumably he could then play it again on his own turn, exclude 2 characters from the battle, and then beat up on the guys who are left. But he does exclude Kirkanos here. So if he were to battle, Kier would not be able to cancel anything. Now he's going to use Solos once per game to play Sorry About the Mess from the Lost Pile. Luke is going to go after Tarkin again. Get rid of that second Battle Destiny. And there's a Jedi Luke. Yeah, he'll just pile on at the big site. He'll drop Rose. He'll drop Rey. Rey gets a use pile pull. Ahsoka's in there. He's going to take the Strike Force. He can use the Strike Force to retrieve the Tantive if he wants. But it also just gives him another grabber, which just takes a card away from his opponent, which at this point is really all he wants. He only has to make his opponent lose 10 more cards, so any used interrupt he plays, he'll just grab it, and that's just a free point of damage. So Kier's excluded, light side's up, 8 power. They're adding a Battle Destiny. They've got 2 weapon swings, and Padme's going to add a Destiny to attrition as well. And he's just going to pick off any of these guys he wants. He swung at Simalu there. Interesting. Simalu's one of the guys who actually has the lowest forfeit in this situation. You know, Min is 5, plus 3 from code clearance is 8, plus the expanded text, he's actually at 10, whereas Sim is only forfeit 8. I think Bastion is just assuming he's just going to kill everybody and clear the entire site. Between 2 lightsaber swings, now he's swinging at Min. Between 2 lightsaber swings, 2 Battle Destiny, and a Destiny to Attrition with Padme, that should be more than enough to get rid of everybody. Yep, no dark time. So Min is now hit. Add the Destiny. And draw 2 Battle Destiny. Two Runlook runs. Interesting. So he's got 13 in Battle Destiny, 14 when you add the one from Rey. My bad. And that will clear everybody. Then I'll tack on a Destiny to Attrition just because. Charlie's going to exchange Palpatine from hand to get Tarkin back out of the lost pile one more time. He's down 18 total. I think his guys will cover. because Arden here is 3, 6. He forfeits for 8. Vader forfeits for 8. That's 16. He actually lost by 18. He's actually going to owe 2 cards, I think, if my math is right. Oh, no, Vader's forfeit plus as well. Vader's forfeit for 10. Yep. I always think it's just yeah, everybody gets the prefix office text, so he'll exactly cover the damage. Thank you, Steve Brenson. I appreciate that. This was game 2. Charlie won the first game by 5. This was the replay of game 2, which Bastion's on track to win by about 18 to 20. The other thing, by clashing Kier at the end of his opponent's turn, Kier is now free to move. But with Rose out, he's retrieving a force. Leia can't cancel that drain, but Harkseth sure can. I think Hark has probably negated about 5 points of damage so far this game. 5 or 6. Yeah, looks like Charlie's just going to drop here and throw in the towel. Nope. He just drew a couple cards and said go. He's going to make Bastion kill him. Okay. He's also going to let his opponent retrieve 2 cards by doing it this way, but, you know. They know where they're at in this game. They know what's going on. Yeah, Rose is going to retrieve. Walkling is going to retrieve. What you're saying, because he has a card in hand, I'm sure he could exchange for the Gick. Yeah, he could. Yep. Yeah, he'll just hit him, make him forfeit 0. Now the Gicks are in the lost pile. Charlie doesn't draw Destiny. Charlie can't exchange. So unless he has another one in his hand, this is going to be game right here. Now that's the non-virtual decree. That's not the virtual one. That's the one that cancels force drain bonuses. Plus, he doesn't have any Destiny to draw in his reserve deck. Everything's active, so nothing left to do except die. And looks like that'll do it. Yeah, they're not even going to go through the motions here. Yep, he's just going to top deck the last few cards. And Bastion wins and advances into the semifinals. We'll call that a 23. So congratulations to Zlorfik on advancing into the next round. He will await the winner of the Chris Kelly-Chris Worfs matchup. Game 1 of that matchup is taking place on Wednesday night. Let's go to the forums here and we'll update our boards. Yeah. Let's go to our championship bracket. Yeah, y'all just got to see my email address. Oh no, like no, you guys don't already know it. So we update our bracket. Bastion is our winner and advances to the semifinals, where he will await Chris Kelly or Chris Wirfs. So they're playing Wednesday night and probably Thursday for their games. These guys played game one today. We're waiting on some replay links, and we'll get that game streamed as well. Over here, Greg Shaw won his first game by 17, and later this evening, in about 3 hours from now, just under 3 hours, they'll be playing game number two. Dan Tartaglione will be doing the live stream of that game, um, as it starts a little late here on the East Coast for me to stream the whole thing. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in to this particular match. And like I said, as soon as we get the Justin and Joe game, we'll stream that one as well. Actually, hold that thought 1 second, because I see that I have a private message. So let me go read what that is real quick. Maybe that's the other link from their game today, and we can do that game as well. Oh, it's not. That's just our lovely, loyal Twitch subscribers who would like to make sure they get included on the list of people getting some foils mailed out to them. So, thank you guys very much for tuning in and watching this game. And like I said, check back in 2 hours and 45 minutes to see who wins the Greg Shaw versus Gavin Ortland matchup. So, you guys have a good night. Take care.